Hello, hello. Good morning, yogis, and welcome to our Friday Empower Yin Yoga class. It is the beginning of the month, and so we are starting all new sequences for the month of August. And every month, I start new sequences for every class. So basically, you have 4 opportunities to do the same class and experience changes within your body, changes within yourself connected to that class. So the Monday class for the month of August will be basically the same for each class. The Tuesday class for the month of August will basically be the same class for each class. So even though we do different classes every day of the week, so Monday vinyasa, Tuesday kundalini, Wednesday restorative, Thursday strength, Friday yin, we do the same yin class for the month of August. We do the same strength class for the month of August. We do the same restorative class for the month of August. So there creates some familiarity in the body, but there also creates space for new experience each day, if that makes sense. I believe that the schedule designed in this way is like a whole body wellness system, because every type of yoga serves a different part of us. Yes, each type of yoga benefits our physical self, our mental self, our emotional self, but each type has a bit of a different intention or purpose. So yin yoga, the purpose is to focus on our connective tissues and to create healthy stress in our bodies, which benefits our connective tissues. So if you think about stress and stretch, stretch is in the muscle and it benefits the muscle, and stress benefits the connective tissue, the joints, the ligaments, the tendons, and the fascia. So just a quick little recap and how this all works. We're going to start today's practice with a little bit of a warm up for our neck, our wrist, and our shoulders. So let's just start by closing down the eyes, get nice and tall from the tailbone through the crown of the head, and let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Take a few deep breaths here. And just centering in. This month, our focus is building functional strength. So even in our yin practice, we're going to bring in some activation, which isn't so yin, but we're going to do it anyway. Slowly, gently, let's tuck the chin to the chest. And we're going to pause here for a good few breaths, letting the head hang heavy. And maybe you'll notice over time how the forehead draws a little bit more toward the floor. And then slowly, gently roll right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder, right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. The next time you shift to the right, let's pause for a moment. Let the right ear come toward the right shoulder. And maybe you lift your gaze up toward the ceiling. And then roll your chin all the way back through center and over to the left. left ear, left shoulder. Maybe lift your gaze up to the ceiling. And roll your chin back through center. We're going to start to warm up the wrists by really pressing the heels of the palm together at heart center. Really press those palms together. Now, as we're here, I invite you to notice what you feel through your shoulders and your chest. Let's get hyper aware of activation in the body. So as we're pressing the palms together, yin is about stillness and maintaining a posture. So we are still and we're maintaining this posture, but as we're here, you may feel the intensity of engagement through the chest and the shoulders increase. So it's not even like we need to be doing squats and lunges and high dynamic movement. We can create strength in a more gentle way, even in our still practice. We may not be building bulky muscles, but we are definitely experiencing engagement of the muscles. Start to notice if that feeling starts to expand through the body. So maybe you start to feel it a little bit more through the space between the shoulder blades. Maybe you start to feel it travel up the neck. And then just for contrast, we're going to take our palms and we're going to press the backs of the hands together. And then draw the elbows down. Let's come back to our breath. And I want you to know if sitting in an easy seat is uncomfortable, there's always the opportunity to extend the legs out in front of you, or even extend the legs apart from one another, and you can sit in more of a straddle. Find what feels more comfortable for you. You could be sitting on a blanket, a pillow, a bolster, if that's more comfortable. And let's take a moment to shake out the wrists. And as we do that, let's lift them up, shake out the wrists, and let them come down. One more. Let's add in the breath. Inhale as you lift the arms up, shaking out the wrists. And exhale as you bring them down. Next, let's shift into the shoulders. And we're just going to come into a simple cactus. And then I encourage you to engage through your palms, either extending your fingers out wide or drawing your fingers together. Decide what feels right for you. And then see if you can kind of draw the shoulders back as you're pressing the chest forward. You want to stay still as straight as you can through the spine. You may need to engage through the core. And maybe you see how it feels to engage through the hands by spreading the fingers out wide and taking a few deep breaths. And then see how different it feels to draw the hands, the fingers together and take a few breaths and see how it feels. Now again, start to notice where the sensation travels as you hold still in this pose. Are you starting to feel the burn through the shoulders? Are you starting to feel the burn through the chest? Are you starting to feel the burn through the back? Is it getting uncomfortable? Are you starting to arch through the spine, creating a curve through the low back? Can you get straight again through the spine? Can you engage more through your core? Let's take a few more deep breaths here. Let your hands come down. Take a minute, roll out the shoulders. Roll out the shoulders. Inhale as you lift, and exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift, and exhale as you lower. Let's take one more. From here, we're going to shift ourselves into our tabletop position. Now, if you have sensitive knees, I highly recommend that you place a blanket on your mat to go underneath your knees. And actually, before we come into our tabletop position, let's take a moment in this pose. So pressing your toes into the floor, sinking your hips as much as you can towards your heels. And let's open up through the arches of the feet. And we're going to pause here. Now, as you feel into this, you're going to experience a lot of sensation through the body. And maybe it feels like engagement. Maybe it feels like release. We're not going to stay here too long, but I just want you to really feel in. This actually is building strength in our feet. It's also increasing the agility in our feet. So just pausing here for a moment. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. And then let's shift forward into our tabletop position. Let the shoelace side of the feet come down and just do a little tap with the feet to kind of release that part of the body. And come through center, check in. So if you're looking right now, you can see that I automatically curve in the spine. See if you can tuck the tailbone under and keep that nice flat back. So it's almost like you're drawing your hips towards your belly button. And you can see that that takes that curve out of the low back. Let's come into a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, head hangs heavy, press through the palms, tuck the chin to chest. Inhale as you arch and lift. Exhale as you round. Inhale as you arch and lift. Exhale as you round. Take 3 more. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, round. 2 more. Breath to movement. Come back to neutral tabletop position. Let's take the right hand and extend the right hand forward and extend the left leg back. So what we're really wanting to create here is one strong line of energy from the heel through the fingertips, keeping the hips as square to the ground as we can. So it can feel like lifting that leg, that is getting into your flexibility. This here, hips square, press through the heel, reach through the fingers. This is really creating functional strength in the body. So we're going to just pause here and be here and breathe here as we stay engaged and as still as we can in this pose. Your gaze can be straight down to the floor, creating that nice neutral spine, neutral neck. Core is engaged. Hips are square. I know. Feel that engagement. Feel that activation through the body. Let's take a few more deep breaths here. Release the hand and knee down. Let's take a moment and just shift the hips from side to side. Come through center. Let's inhale into our cow pose. Exhale into our cat. 2 more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last one. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Back to neutral. Get active in the core again. We're switching to the other side. Left hand forward, right leg back. Lengthening from the heel through the fingertips. Fingertips are engaged. Foot is engaged. Keep the hips square. We're not kicking that foot up and back. We're keeping it nice and parallel to the floor to help keep the hips square. You may even find that with squared hips, your right hip comes down slightly and maybe your leg comes down slightly. Stay engaged, stay connected to your breath. Feel into all of the little muscles that are waking up, that are engaging, that are being activated. Stay engaged, reactivate, realign if you need to. And let's release that down. Take a moment, shift the hips from side to side. Let's take 3 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, round. Feel that release. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, round. We're going to walk our arms forward and come onto our forearms. Let's flip the toes and come into a forearm plank. So again, we're staying in that stillness. Core is engaged. I want you to sink the booty down. Maybe you're more like this, the booty up. Sink that booty down. Arms are parallel to one another. Tuck the tailbone under. Zip the legs up tight together. Come back to your breath. If you need to lower down on your knees, I want you to know that's okay. Maybe you lower down, take a few breaths, and then lift back in. We got this. Building functional strength. We're going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the upper body, lower body come down. Maybe place both hands on top of one another. Let the forehead rest down, elbows wide. Take a big breath in. Full breath out. Big breath in. Full breath out. Take a couple more on your own breath. So we never said it was easy to build functional strength. So we're going to shift into a side plank. Now, let's bring the left arm, elbow down, and you want to make sure that your shoulder is stacked over your elbow. So I am not stacked. I need to bring that more underneath. Keeping it stacked keeps it stable and builds functional strength. When our joints are overextended, it just puts pressure and creates weakness. So, and then let's lift the hips up. Now, it doesn't have to be super high. You can have your hand on your hip. You can extend your arm up if that feels good. And we're going to be here and just breathe here. Any amount of lift is perfect. Building up those obliques, building up that core strength. Core strength is what carries us through our life with stability. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come through center, and we're going to roll to the opposite side, stacking your shoulders, stacking your hips. Hand can be on your hip or extended up, you decide. Checking in that shoulder is right over the elbow. Just going to start by breathing, lifting the hips to whatever height you can. Maybe it's an inch. We'll be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back through center. Let your torso come down. You can stack your hands back on top of one another. And let's just take a moment to shift the hips from side to side. And we're actually going to come right into a Sphinx pose by bringing both of the elbows down onto the floor. Again, shoulders stacked over elbows, forearms are parallel to one another. Let's press the toe into the floor and lift and hold. Remember to breathe. Even though you're holding, even though you're activating, remember to breathe. Breathe into the stillness. Breathe into the engagement. We'll be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg down. Let it fully release and relax in, and then we'll switch to the other side. Flex the toes down, press through the heel. Let's reconnect to our Sphinx upper body as we lengthen the ears away from the shoulders, keeping that back leg lifted. Building up strength here through the quads and the glutes. It's really important to have that functional stability, to stay upright and move forward through life. Being drawn into your practice. We'll be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the leg come down. Let the forehead come down. Bend into the knees. Gently shift from side to side like windshield wipers. Bring your knees back through center. Extend your legs out long. Let's bring our left ear down. We'll start with that. Come back to your breath. And this is where we're going to end our class, begin our Shavasana. I'll let you know when we're halfway through so that you can switch to the opposite ear. And let's switch to the opposite ear, whatever that is for you. I invite you to close down your eyes, connect to your breath. See if there's anywhere in the body you can release and let go. Bring your head back through center. Hands come underneath your shoulders next to your chest. Press your upper body up. Let's momentarily sink back into our child's pose. Sink forward, lifting the toes, lifting the gaze. Sink back, child. Sink forward. One more. Sink back, child. Sink forward. And let's shift ourselves into an easy seat, ending out our practice where we began. Taking a moment to acknowledge what you experienced in your body with these little engagements, these little activations. And what I really encourage you to notice is how your body feels tomorrow and see if these intentional movements made a difference in your functional strength or in what you feel in your body after. Like, can you feel your muscles more? Maybe you're a little sore. Let's bring our palms to touch, get nice and tall through the crown of the head, tuck your chin to your chest. Acknowledging yourself for being here today, being grateful for your practice, grateful for your body. Thank you so much for sharing in this space, for being a part of this community. The light, the love, the wisdom in me sees, honors, reflects, and encourages the light, the love, the wisdom in you. Namaste. I hope to see you again on your mats very, very soon. And until then, may your light be your guide.